Today I'm doing a special challenge. My friend Steve, who was on the Big Chungus team when I did all the virtual challenge runs, gave me a challenge a few weeks ago. And I told him it would take me a little while to get to it, but I was gonna do it. So today I'm doing the street name run challenge. I have to spell out my name, my first and last name, with street names that start with those letters. So yeah, I'm gonna do the streets in order, and instead of picking streets that are just close together, we're gonna make this into a little history lesson. So let's go. So luckily I don't have any weird letters in my name, so I don't have to be running around looking for street names starting with Q or X. We're gonna start with the letter A. And the A is for Abel Tasman. Abel Tasman is a famous Dutch explorer. He was probably most famous for his services with the Dutch East India Company between 1642 and 1644. He was the first European explorer to reach Fiji, New Zealand, and Tasmania, which is why they call it Tasmania. Now the R is for Rembrandt. Rembrandt van Rijn was a famous Dutch painter who lived in the 1600s. His most famous work is probably The Night Watch, which is a huge painting that you can see in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. Now, fun fact about The Night Watch is that the most prominent person on the painting is Willem van Ruitenburg, who used to be from Vlaardingen. The end brings us to Nicolas Bates Straat. Nicolas Bates was a theologian, a writer, a poet who used to write under the name Hildebrand. He was born in 1814, and his most famous work is probably Camera Obscura. Remember, I was looking for giant objects for the scavenger hunt. I totally forgot about this ice cream here. Could have used that. Sparks in every move. Sparks. And the O brings us to Oranjestraat. Oranje means orange in Dutch. So why is that significant? Well, orange is the national color of the Netherlands. And that's because the last name of the king is Van Orange. So yeah, whenever there's festivities like King's Day or our national soccer team is playing, everything turns orange, people dress in orange. It can get kind of crazy. Sparks on every way. Okay, so we spelled out my first name. Now it's on to my last name, starting with the letter T for Thorbecke Street. Johan Thorbecke was probably the most important Dutch politician of the 19th century. He pretty much single-handedly drafted a revision of the Constitution of the Netherlands in 1848, thereby giving less power to the king and more power to the State General, also giving more religious, personal, and political freedom to the people. Johan, sing it. Sounds inviting you to stay. All the stars around you, be together, that's the way. Now the E is for Erasmusplein. I'm on the Erasmusplein now. I just can't find a street sign anywhere. Desiderius Erasmus, born in 1466, was a famous Dutch philosopher and Christian scholar. He is considered the most important scholar of the Northern Renaissance. I have a couple of S's in my name. So we'll start with Spinoza Street. Now Spinoza Street is a really new street. It used to be a small narrow path which they widened, and since they widened it they also changed the name to Spinoza Street. Now it's so new that it's not on Google Maps yet, so Google, get on that. But it's also so new that I can't find a street name for it yet. Now, Baruch Spinoza was a Dutch philosopher born in 1632 in Amsterdam. He died at the young age of 44 in The Hague, where his house, you can still visit there.
Sparks in every move, sparks in every day, sparks on every way. Sparks in...
The second S is for Samuel S. Meyer Straat. Samuel S. Meyer was a resistance fighter during World War II. He used to hide Jewish people in his house, and also as a police officer he was able to tip off people for police raids. Now in 1944, during an operation where they tried to spring other resistance fighters from jail, he got caught and he was killed in a gunfight 1 month before he was supposed to turn 24. The E is for Edison Straat. Thomas Edison, famous inventor, not a Dutchman, but it is believed that he was of Dutch descent. Now, he was an inventor of a lot of wonderful things that we still use today in one way or another. And I don't believe that there's anybody, even 100 years after his death, that doesn't know the name Thomas Edison.
Sparks in every day, sparks on every way.
The letter R brings us to Richard Holstraat. Richard Hol was a famous Dutch composer and conductor. He was born in 1825 and he died in 1904. His most famous work is probably The Flying Dutchman. To round it all off with the letter S, we're at Zwelingstraat. Jan Peterson's Zweling was a Dutch composer and organist. He's considered one of the first European keyboard composers. He was born in 1562, and as a master improviser, he earned the nickname Orpheus of Amsterdam. Okay, so that spells out my name, Arno Tessers. And that concludes my street name run challenge. Thank you, Steve. I had fun doing this challenge. Thank you for challenging me. I hope everybody enjoyed watching this video and seeing some of the streets here in Vlaardingen. If you did like the video, like it down below, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until next time, get out there and run.